Hey guys, Quad Father here. It's been a while since I made a video. I've been a little busy. Life kind of takes over. But I had a bunch of questions about Tenodesis, and I think I've done a lot of functional stuff, but I haven't really gone over Tenodesis. Basically, how I function along with a lot of other quads without full hand function. I know you guys see me do a lot of stuff, but from far away, probably looks like I have a little more hand function than I do, but in reality, I'm a C6-7 quad all the way. I do have a little bit of finger movement on my right hand here, and on this hand I can kind of oppose the thumb a little bit, and I do have a little bit of finger movement and stuff that I've kind of gotten back over the last couple years. Or so. I didn't really have this when I was inpatient. But anyways, for those that don't know, tenodesis is basically the kind of causes a functional movement of the thumb and the index finger. So when you go into wrist extension, it brings the index finger and the thumb kind of in to give you a little bit of a grip. To start out, it's not always the greatest. Definitely have to learn how to use it. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you can necessarily function with it. It's definitely kind of odd at first, kind of getting used to it, especially when you're used to being able to just reach out and grab something, the way you used to when you had full hand function. So it's definitely a skill that has to be learned. It's not something that just comes to you. So if any of these techniques that I'm doing here, I'm going to kind of walk you through a few things that I do: writing, manipulating a magazine, manipulating a water bottle, even manipulating a phone a little bit. If it looks like I'm doing it a little easier than than it probably is at first, it's only because I've been doing it for 10 years now. So definitely wasn't as pretty the first couple of times I did it either. So if at first you don't succeed, try again. Eventually it'll kind of come to you. So first off, I think I'm going to try and manipulate the water bottle. I'm going to try and get a drink. So basically a lot of people are going to kind of reach out. I do have a little bit of that thumb action, so it does make it a little bit easier on this hand. On this hand, it's a little trickier because I can't bring that thumb out. So with this hand, I might have to slide it over top of the water bottle. On this hand, I have the ability to kind of bring that thumb back a little bit so I can come in right in the middle. But for those, when you first try the tenodesis, sometimes your hand might be in this position here, where there's not as much room. You can't really open it up as well. So the easier way to do it is take it over top, and that kind of brings your thumb and your finger out. Kind of slide it down the bottle to where you find a lot of the bottles are nice now, where they have a little bit of a kind of a grip spot where you can find that. That kind of helps give you a little bit of traction on the water bottle. It's not just one smooth surface, makes it a little bit tougher. So you kind of want to find that spot on the water bottle by sliding your hands down to it, and then just using that tenodesis, that wrist extension, bringing it back. That's going to kind of give you. This doesn't have much water on it, so I don't have to go quite as far. But you can kind of see what I'm doing with my wrist, bringing that water bottle back, and that gives you a fairly good grip on the water bottle. And you can bring it up, lift it up and down. One of the little tricks I found, especially when the water bottle, if it's a little wet, the drinks are a little bit wet, you get some condensation on the outside of the bottle. It's even more slippery. So things that I've kind of come to learn is you take my pinky and kind of put that on the bottom of the water bottle, and then you can kind of use both hands, kind of set it in there, and now it becomes much more sturdy. It's not going to fall out the bottom, as hard as you kind of shake it. So that pinky is kind of holding it there. I'm not putting any, it's not really doing it. It's basically just kind of holding the weight there. So, it's not me moving my pinky. You can see I got nothing on my pinky, so I'm just basically kind of using it as like a rest. And that was kind of one of the little tricks I found after I lost a few hundred water bottles on the floor. And it kind of stinks even more when you got the open glasses because it makes a little bit even more of a mess. So, but basically taking the top off, I know a lot of people will tell you, you can use your teeth and stuff like that. hold with two hands, use your teeth. That's kind of one technique. It's a little tricky. Once the water bottle is already open, I kind of use like this little section of my hand here. It's almost like that skin right there gives you a little bit of grip on there, and then you can use that to manipulate the top. I kind of use that as kind of like my bottle opener with that skin there, so it gives you a little bit of grip on the bottle itself. Or you can kind of do the two-handed technique, where I'll take both hands like this, and kind of use both thumbs, and then you're just kind of twisting the wrist, moving one hand back, the other hand forward. You can do the same thing there, and then kind of loosen it up. And then most of the times you can use that Tenodesis to bring that water bottle, take that top off. And then this hand, I do have that little bit of thumb, so it causes a little bit easier grip. And we'll go for a drink. So that's kind of manipulating a water bottle 101. All those techniques might take you a little bit of time, especially if new injury or something like that. But just play around with it. Get an empty water bottle, get a full water bottle, whatever you want to do. And just work on get that hand down to where it needs to be, and manipulating the water bottle, and drinking out of the water bottle and stuff like that, and getting the top off. Find whichever way works best for you. My techniques aren't always the best techniques. Kind of whatever works best for you is what I've found. So, next thing that I kind of worked on myself was writing. The OTs like to give you a lot of utensils and stuff, and they're great if you have no hand function at all. That's something that makes you functional, and that's great. I myself didn't want to have any writing utensil kind of grips or anything like that, because I was always afraid I was going to run into a situation where I didn't have that grip. I'm not going to be able to do anything without that. Kind of the same way with an eating utensil. So I kind of found ways to do stuff without having any kind of aids or grips or anything like that. So the way I write is I found that using that Tenodesis in here still doesn't give you enough grip on the pen to be able to really manipulate it. So I found doing that Tenodesis, it also closes these fingers down in here, so these actually have more grip in these slots in here when it comes to pens and stuff like that for me. And even eating utensils, I put my fork in there, and that's how I eat. But I found that I could put it in there, and the pen sits with a lot more grip than it does between the finger and the index finger. It just doesn't quite have enough there. So I'll set my pen like that, and then when I get ready to write, I'll use two hands actually, because one hand you still can't quite get the pressure that you need to write. You can kind of get it, but it's kind of not really functional. So what I found is I'll use my other hand, kind of use my thumb and hand to push down on the pen, and that's giving me the pressure that I need in order to write. So I can manipulate the pen and give it enough pressure so you can actually write functionally. I worked on that probably about 10,000 times before I was able to sign my name, but this is great. I've taken notes in class, pages at a time, been able to keep up pretty well with the professors and stuff like that. Definitely takes some practice. I tried to show a few guys, and it's definitely a little frustrating at first, but like I said, you try again. If this technique doesn't work for you, you want to use one of the adaptive devices, something like that. You write great. That works for you. That's great. I'm just kind of giving you a few ideas for any of the new injuries out there, or maybe some guys that have been injured for a while trying to figure it out. But that's kind of what I figured out. Kind of works for me. So if you want, give it a try. These pens are nice. It's got a little more grip down there, so it might be a good place to start. And then kind of work your way down to just a regular ballpoint in case you're out somewhere and they don't have one of these pens. But you can keep one of these in your bag or keep it on you too, so you always have one just in case. It definitely makes it easier to kind of hold on to. So that's writing 101. If you have any more questions or anything like that, feel free to kind of leave me some feedback and go over things a little bit more. But manipulating a magazine, it's kind of straightforward, but you can see that it's a little tricky, with the grasp and stuff. So you find that you can almost use like balance points on the magazines and stuff as far as manipulating the magazines and stuff like that. Flipping the pages, it's not really Tenodesis, but I'll lick the finger. You can kind of manipulate the magazine that way. The other way, if not the most sanitary, but you can kind of bring this one in a little bit more. So if you bring it in all the way, then you can kind of use that Tenodesis to hold it. Trying to grab it out here, obviously, makes it a little bit trickier. So the more leverage, I think, the further in you can go on stuff, the easier it is. But I use the back of my hand as kind of a balance to manipulate the magazine. If I'm sliding it off the side or something like that, you want to hand it to somebody, like a menu or something like that. That's where it comes in handy more often than not. If you're in a restaurant or something like that, you can slide the menu onto the back of your hand, and you can hand it to the waiter or something like that, or you can kind of bring it in here and hand it to the waiter. But that's kind of where the functionality comes in with as far as the Tenodesis goes. It's just kind of more balance points and manipulation of another object. So the last thing I got here is the phone. I like the iPhones or any kind of touch phone. That was great. I used to have the phone with all the little buttons on there. Not very quad friendly. I'm sure a lot of you out there quad wise have tried it. You would agree, but just makes it a lot easier to manipulate. I like a nice rubber cover on there. It definitely makes it a little bit easier to kind of hold on to using that Tenodesis. The regular phones are definitely a little bit trickier to hold on to, a little slippery. So nice rubber cover is definitely easier to manipulate. But that's kind of the way I manipulate a few of the objects out there. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you need me to kind of go over anything else, a little bit more detail, I don't have any eating utensils with me or anything to eat. Otherwise, I'd show you that. But those are kind of the toughest ones to kind of learn: the eating and the writing, and then just being able to drink, out of a water bottle or a cup or anything like that without using a straw and stuff. Those are kind of, little steps along the way that can make a big difference down the road as far as your independence. So, but appreciate you guys checking out my video. I'm going to actually go down to the gym, and I'm going to have a few videos from the gym. I'm going to show a few strengthening techniques to be able to strengthen the wrist and stuff like that. That's going to help improve your Tenodesis. So hope you can check those out too. But for now, Quad Fitness out. Thanks.